by Geico. A calm, clear night here in Las Cruces as the New Mexico State Aggies take on the FIU Panthers in a Conference USA clash. It's the first ever Wednesday night game for the Aggies as they try to slow down a much improved FIU team looking for its fourth win of the year. Welcome in, everybody. It's football on a Wednesday night. Jordan Kent alongside three-time Pro Bowler Dante Whitner. And Dante, you talked to both coaches, and they've stressed the importance of this game, trying to pick up their first conference win. We're also going to see two very similar styles on the field tonight.
Absolutely. They're both similar in style, and they really want to run the ball first and foremost. And then off of that running game, they want to utilize the play-action play game and get explosive through the air. And they really depend heavily on their quarterbacks improvising and creating for these offenses.
The quarterbacks are the story in this one for FIU. Keyjuan Jenkins leads all freshmen in the nation at passing yards this season.
Yeah, the true freshman lefty quarterback is confident, he's aggressive, and he's ultra elusive in the pocket. He has a high football IQ and a very good feel for the game.
He also has a quarterback's best friend that's a legitimate number one option in Chris Mitchell in the top 10 in yards this season.
Yeah, his number one target is Chris Mitchell, and he's in the midst of a breakout year. 459 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, his tops in Conference USA.
For the Aggies at quarterback, Diego Pavia, tough, confident, and talking to his coaches, they want him to play a little bit more measured tonight.
And he will play measured, but he's a dual quarterback in every sense of the word. He's their leading passer, he's their leading rusher, and when he doesn't turn the ball over, he connects on the deep ball, they usually win the game.
Pavia vastly improved, has upped his completion percentage by nearly 10 points, but the coaching staff said he's got to make sure he keeps the offense moving and protects that football as they try to pick up their first conference win. Let's go ahead and check out the keys of the game here, Dante.
For the FIU Panthers, it's easy. Get your freshman quarterback in rhythm, pick up first down, possess the ball, and limit the explosive plays. Too many explosive plays given up this year. For New Mexico State, is no turnovers. It's a direct correlation with their team and turnovers and wins and losses. When they don't turn it over, they win. When they turn it over, they lose. And they want to get after this freshman quarterback. They're going to use Keontae, their linebacker, to spy him, and they want to let the dogs loose. They want the defensive tackles and defensive ends to not only get to the quarterback, but get him on the ground.
New Mexico State will go ahead and kick it off. They won the toss. FIU will receive. New Mexico State defending the south goal. And here we go. As we said, first ever Wednesday night game for the Aggies. And that'll sail out the end of the end zone. And that'll bring onto the field the FIU offense. We've already talked about him before. We'll mention it once again. Keyjuan Jenkins. And speaking to the FIU coaching staff and offensive coordinator David Yost, they said they need him to slow down. He's playing well as a freshman. You see that number, 29 of his last 30 starts. If you go back to high school, have been victories as Papa John's presents his player profile. And when you've got youth at the quarterback position here, Dante, you want to make sure he doesn't get rushed this game. Shamari Lawrence on the outside. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Papa John's starting lineup after that 6-yard gain, and that's exactly who we highlight, Shamari Lawrence.
6 foot, 200 pounds. They're going to need a big game from him on the ground, creating explosives with his legs.
They go to the ground again. It's Lawrence. Short pickup here that brings up third down. Let's go ahead and check out the New Mexico State defense. A defense that'll certainly have a test, and we highlight Keyshawn Elliott leads the team with 32 tackles this season.
Yeah, he played last year as a true freshman behind 2 NFL linebackers, and this year he's the guy. Talking to defensive coordinator Nate Drelling, he said if he plays well, our defense will play well. So that's a guy to key in and lock in on tonight. 3rd and 2,
early opportunity to get off the field for the Aggies. Jenkins wants to go deep, receiver tripped up. No laundry on the field, so well defended on the outside. That's number 8, Andre Selden. And Selden, one of these transfers from Michigan that had his opportunity to go anywhere. It's an interesting story. When we talked to head coach Jerry Kill, he talked to Coach Harbaugh at Michigan and said, listen, Selden, quality player. I just got 2 guys that are a little bit taller, a little bit bigger ahead of him on the depth chart.
Yeah, and Selden, he plays some special teams at Michigan. And Drelling talked about calling Coach Harbaugh and asking about him and saying, hey, he's a great player. He'll be great on your level, and he's been great for the Aggies so far this year.
Dayton Montiel back to punt. So an early 3-and-out forced by the Aggie defense. High flying punt. Fair catch is called for New Mexico State. Jonathan Brady, their leading receiver. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Papa John's starting lineup. We highlight the quarterback, Diego Pavia. Numbers have been improved this season. What continues to stand out to you when you watch the film?
Well, his ability to create with his legs. And versus New Mexico, they went to a lot of the quarterback option game, a lot of the direct quarterback run game, and he took on the challenge. And you would have thought that he was a running back there. So just his ability to create with his legs.
He's got a trio of backs that'll join him in the backfield. Jamani Jones, Star Thomas, Monte Watkins. 3 players on this New Mexico State team have rushed for more than 200 yards this season. Pavia has time in the pocket. Crossing route, completion made. That's Chris Bellamy that crashes out of bounds after picking up the first down.
And that receiver drag is a staple in their offense. And you'll see him, Chris Bellamy, start on the outside. They get the linebacker sucked up in the line of scrimmage with the play action, and Pavia delivers an accurate ball over his shoulder for the easy first down. The New Mexico State linebackers, the FIU linebackers are going to have to make sure that they're better with their keys so they can give some help on those underneath drops.
25 yards on the completion. This is an Aggie team that averages just under 18 yards per completion. Good for 3rd in all of college football. Pavia keeps it himself this time, but gets trucked in the backfield. Met quickly and read perfectly. Deverick Daniel, the strong safety, coming down.
And that is a hit. And this is an integral part of the New Mexico State offense, is the option game there. And Deverick Daniel right there with the big hit. And that's how you play it. You have guys that are responsible for the quarterback, responsible for the pitch. But when you get a safety in the alley, you have to lower the boom on the quarterback. Great job from Daniel there with the fit tackle.
Brings up 2nd and 11. That's something you pointed out, Dante, that Pavia does take a lot of hits during the game. He's not a quarterback that looks to slide first. Brady, the quick reception, brings it near midfield, brings up 3rd down. Now let's go ahead and meet the rest of this New Mexico State offense, brought to you by the Papa John's lineups, and we highlight that man, Jonathan Brady.
And you see it averaging 25 yards per reception, and he does everything: punt return, kickoff return. He's their best offensive receiver.
3rd and 7. Pavia gonna run it. Pavia brought down. And it's close to the first down marker. As we said before, not afraid to use his legs, but it looks like it'll bring up 4th down. And we take a look at the FIU defense. Donovan Manuel, 4 forced fumble, tied for most in all of college football this year.
Yeah, and he's the captain of this defense, the captain of this team. He's the alpha dog, and they're expecting him to get around the ball plenty tonight, and hopefully he can get some of the footballs out with the intentional punch out.
Here's New Mexico State going for it here. 4th and 1. Pavia keeping it and gets the first down. Jamani Jones acting as the impromptu fullback on that play, picks up a nice block.
Jamani Jones at 225 pounds is the lead blocker there, and you see Pavia just read off it, put his left foot in the ground, and pick up the first down. That's huge for the Aggies here in this first half. They wanted to possess the football, and this is what they're doing here on this drive.
We've already seen Pavia use his legs quite a bit on this opening drive. And that'll be a flag against FIU as they cross the line of scrimmage there, neutral zone infraction. So this offensive unit for New Mexico State, it's a unit that's just looking for more consistency, as we said before.
Offside. Defense, number 99 in the neutral zone, causing a reaction from the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Yes, and they are looking for more consistency. They've either been very hot or very cold. There's no middle ground for them. So to come out and get 2 consecutive first downs on this drive, to pick up a 4th down, you know that they have to be loving it.
They're coming off a loss at Hawaii a week and a half ago, in which they only had 14 plays in the second half. Hawaii booted a field goal at the last minute, and the handoff Goes to Jones for a gain of a couple.
And Jones is very good of making guys miss, breaking tackles. And you see Keel there. Look like he's getting his offense up to the line of scrimmage, ready to go hurry up.
And you notice the tempo immediately. Fakes the handoff to Jones. This time swings it to the outside. Trent Hudson tackled, but picks up the first down. So this offense continues to churn yards on their opening drive.
And that was a great throw out, quick throw to Trent Hudson, the transfer from Trinity Valley Community College. And he's made big plays at big moments for them all year this year, and they want to get him the ball more. When you get the ball in his hands, great things happen.
And what do you think about this change of pace all of a sudden? We saw them kind of start off with the change up and then throw a couple fastballs here.
Being a former defender, whenever an offense comes out with change of pace, it makes everybody kind of panic on the defensive side of the ball. So they're just trying to see how they're going to adjust. FIU's going to adjust to this up-tempo offense.
Fresh set of downs, pair of backs in the backfield for Pavia. Everyone's going to go out. Pavia trying to avoid the rush, dumps it off across the field, and Jamani Jones with the reception. He's been busy already.
And that's one of Pavia's best attributes right there. You see it in the pocket. Nobody open downfield. He still has his eyes downfield. Sidesteps the defensive tackle. And then Patrick Mahomes sidearm throws it underneath to Jamani Jones. Great job of not taking a chance in coverage, but also getting it to his check down.
You see more and more people use that sidearm, by the way.
Yeah, it's starting to become a normal thing.
Pavia 4 of 4, 38 yards on this opening drive, including the 25-yard completion to Bellamy to get things rolling. Handoff, blocked on the outside. Another nice gain for the Aggies. But this offense has found that rhythm that they're looking for. That is Monte Watkins, their home run hitter.
Amani Watkins is the edge guy. He's a 10-4, 100-meter transfer from TCU. And they want to get the ball to him more. Whenever he gets the ball, he makes it happen. He's averaging 12 yards per carry, which is insane.
Tonight's Red Zone is brought to you by Verizon, and this will be a test for this Aggie offense. The FIU defense ranked 15th in Red Zone defense this year as the Aggies get a crack at it first and goal from the 10-yard line. Pavia, the keeper, and just a convoy of defenders. Pick a name, and they got to Pavia on that one.
And this is also a place on the field where we'll see Eli Stowers, the quarterback, number 7, comes into the game. He aligns at wide receiver. He aligns in the backfield, and he's usually the quarterback option guy here in the red zone.
CJ Christian, the first Panther in on the tackle, brings up second and goal, a loss of 1. Dante, this is where things get tight for the offense. Not as much field to work with here. What are they thinking as a defense here for FIU?
Pressure and man coverage behind it. Make the ball come out quick.
Pavia, quick throw. Bobbled, then caught. It's Chris Bellamy in the end zone for the score. Diego Pavia orchestrates an efficient opening drive leading to the touchdown, and sometimes just a great one-on-one individual effort.
And this is a staple in their offense, the RPO game. Get the linebacker sucked up and then drill the ball in there to Bellamy. Great job with the accuracy, and the Aggies came out on fire. Great job punching it into the end zone. First
touchdown of the year for Bellamy. Here's Ethan Albertson for the extra point, and the Aggies 7-0 out the gate. Diego Pavia, the model of efficiency to give his team the opening score.
Built for the guy who has everything and needs to tow it. The Tow and Stow is equipped with multiple ball sizes and adjusts
trucks. Built to serve.
The Aggies with an opening drive as beautiful as the sunset. They have a 7-0 lead, 11 plays, 76 yards, taking up 6.5 minutes. But how about Diego Pavia? 5 of 5, including that 11-yard strike to Chris Bellamy. Exactly what you look for, Dante, when you win the toss, You choose to kick, your defense gets a 3 and out, and then you march right down the field.
And it's exactly what we talked about going into the game as far as running the ball first and foremost, and then the play action. And here you have linebackers, Donovan Manuel and Reggie Jackson, who's their 2 best players on defense, but they have to respect the running game, and they step up there, and you're going to see all of this vacant area there. That's what they call the RPO game, and it's an easy pitch and throw from Pavia to Bellamy. Touchdown Aggies.
So Kewan Jenkins back on the field. His team down now. Plenty of time left in this game, but for a freshman quarterback, you have to make sure you aren't pressing. Let the game come to yourself, I imagine. Jenkins, design keeper, rumbles his way forward for a gain of about 9.
And McIntyre talked about getting Jenkins comfortable early in the game, taking some off his plate, giving him easy throws and completions, and no easier way than to open it up with a quarterback draw, get hit, get the cobwebs off a little bit, so now you can see the routes in the defense clearly.
Ruled a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. Jenkins takes his time and just off rhythm with Jalen Bracey, had him open.
And that was just a bad throw. When you look at his footwork, he was off balance. Throwing as a left-hand quarterback to the right side of the field is difficult anyway, and that throw right there was just behind the receiver.
You hear the cowbells ringing. This is a big 3rd down coming up already for FIU, you imagine, because you got to keep this drive going. Give your defense a little rest after they were just on the field for 6.5 minutes. 3rd and 4. Lawrence in protection. Jenkins keeps it himself, picks up the 1st down, and slides down right near midfield. So cool, calm, collected. Kewan Jenkins, a gain of 16.
And Aggies there went with an all-out blitz, and when you don't keep your blitz lanes and you open up vertical seams versus a mobile quarterback, he's going to take off and pick it up with his legs. Great job of Jenkins escaping up the middle and not taking the hit at the end.
Jenkins play action, hit as he throws, lobs it over the top. That's Chris Mitchell. His #1 target. Mitchell takes it down near the 15-yard line. It's the first big offensive play of the game as Jenkins throws it right under duress.
And this is why Jenkins has earned the respect of his teammates as a true freshman. Watch the blitz come and him standing there and take one for the team, knowing that he had Mitchell running wide open over the middle. A great job of responding from the FIU offense.
39 yards, flips it outside. Jalen Bracey, not much going there. Well defended by New Mexico State. Makai Miller, the first one there.
And if you're Coach Mike McIntyre, you have to like the response that your offense came out and gave to this football team. Now they're in the red zone. They have opportunity to score here.
2nd and 5. This time they'll flip it over to Eric Rivers. Same play, nearly the same result, brings up 3rd and short.
And this is where Jenkins' legs really come alive down here in the red zone. Look for some type of misdirection, getting him to the edge and trying to get him across the goal line.
3rd and 1, ball on the right hash. Amari Lawrence in the backfield. Josiah Miamin, 3rd string tight end, putting a little extra beef on the patty on the front line. Jenkins keeps it himself, little stutter step and waltzes into the end zone. So how about the answer from the freshman?
They were trying to get Jenkins to the edge, like I said, but his instincts kicked in because the defense was in good contain, made 2 guys miss, put his left foot in the ground, and that's an amazing touchdown there. Trying to attack the edge, 2 guys over pursue, and then Jenkins is in the end zone. Great job of the Panthers responding.
A special talent. Kewan Jenkins, 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. 7 plays, 75 yards as Chase Gabriel notches it up at 7 apiece. And how about how quick that drive was? 2:37 off the clock.
We talked about Jenkins being ultra elusive. There's not more you can do there. 2 guys missed into the end zone.
For me, only at Chili's. Serves up bottomless drinks, bottomless chips and salsa, and
your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. FIU marching down the field right after the opening drive from New Mexico State and answering with a 7-play, 75-yard drive, taking 2:37. It was Jenkins using his feet, but Dante, let's check out the big play of this drive that really opened things up.
Yeah, the big play was down here in the red zone with Jenkins. They like to utilize his legs down there. And then this one here was just a blown coverage. And this is very disheartening for any secondary. And what tells me that they're playing cover 2 is the safety at the top here. Sorry about that. He's playing a deep half. The safety here at the bottom, you see him come down. That tells me that he's blown the coverage. And by the time Selden sees that the safety isn't there, it's too late. But this, the easiest way to get beat is to give up explosive plays because of lack of communication.
And how would you sort out that stack formation we saw down there with the 2 receivers? Because that takes some extra communication. So the return made here, but again, sometimes we've heard this coaching staff say we got to put our players in position pre-snap. We saw that there.
They were in position pre-snap to make plays. The safety is supposed to remain back, playing over the deep half over both of those 2 stacked receivers, and then Selden and whoever the outside corner is, whoever is on the line of scrimmage, the receiver, he gets up and press, the other guy plays off. It's an easy fix, but it'll beat you if you continue to give up those big plays.
As they call it, a teachable moment in the film room after this one. So 7-7. Take a look at Jerry Kill, second season as New Mexico State head coach. 9-9 record, won a bowl game last year. Trying to get win number 3 this year. Pavia, play action, thought about going deep. This time has to get out of the pocket, trying to keep it alive. He'll stiff arm a man and get out of bounds.
Max protection, keeping all the offensive linemen, tight end, and backs in with a 2-man route down the field. It's easier to cover for the defense, and that's why Pavia had to scramble. Shout out to the secondary there for being in tune, communicating, and not giving up the big play.
What stands out to me is he didn't try to force anything there. And that's exactly what this coaching staff was talking about. We want him to make sure he's not trying to fit some throws in there that he shouldn't be making.
And we talked about what's the balance. What's the balance between scrambling and improvising, trying to make big plays, and just getting the ball to the right receiver.
2nd and 7, just under 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. Pavia again, play action, and sails it over the head of his receiver. Was trying to go to Jonathan Brady, and looks like a little miscommunication there, and that'll bring up 3rd and 7.
And that one was way off. You have to think that was miscommunication. That's the same route concept that he threw an interception on versus UMass. I was a little skeptical of seeing that 3-man concept to the field right there. That was another one that could have been nearly intercepted.
His first incompletion of the game. Now you've got 5 receivers spread out, nobody in the backfield, stack formation on the bottom.
Watch the quarterback run, though. Only 5 guys in the box.
Aggies 0 for 1 on 3rd down here so far. Pressure coming. Pavia loses the ball. That is scooped up, but then it's still a loose pigskin. Looks like the Aggies finally jump on it. Big number 99, Jordan Garrod, had the bread, but couldn't eat, and so now New Mexico State will be forced to punt.
A great job of coverage. This is pretty much a coverage sack, and then you see the right guard there get really just ran by. You have to tuck that football away if you're Pavia. He's had issues turning the ball over, and we spoke about it at the beginning of the telecast. When he takes care of the ball and he executes on the explosive plays, they win. When he turns the ball over, they lose every time. So, Keel, he doesn't like to see that.
Number 97, Alex Nobles, was the one to knock it loose, and so now a punt out of their own end zone for Zach Haynes. Able to get it off. That's the most important thing in that situation, and a fair catch called at the 46-yard line. The Panthers will take over when we come back.
When you have something to get done today, getting everything you need today is helpful. That's why Ace has free in-store and curbside pickup, or even same-day delivery from your locally owned neighborhood Ace.
Ace is the place with the help.
Liberty, a 38-6 victory over FIU, and FIU's last game. That was the game in which Jenkins felt sped up, but now the freshman has really settled into his groove, has a chance to put his team up ahead, and hits the tight end. A rare completion to a tight end, just the 8th ball caught by that position as Josiah Miamen snags it.
And he was wide open. They had him aligned at the fullback position. They did a play action fake. The linebacker thought he was going to block, and they snuck him up the middle. That's a great play concept right there and great execution.
Jenkins play action, uses his feet, avoids the rush. Jenkins still running, gets to the outside, pushed out of bounds, and has proven to be an elusive target already in the first quarter.
Well, how elusive is this young freshman quarterback? You want to talk about slippery outside the pocket, and this is one of the things they harped on. If it's not there, if you feel the immediate pressure, take off, use your legs, and right there, he broke a few pairs of ankles out there. I like what I'm seeing from Jenkins on the sideline.
14-yard gain, and just like that, FIU in the red zone. Handoff this time to Keyshawn Owens as Owens gets his first touch of the game and more positive production on the carry.
Offensive coordinator Yost, he talked about Owens becoming a complete back. When he came in, yeah, he was a good runner, but they want to see him in all three downs. First and second down, receiving the ball out of the backfield, and the blitz pickup.
2nd and 2. Saw that quick scoring drive, just 2 minutes and 40 seconds for FIU. This time they go to the outside, but that is quickly snuffed out. Mekhi Miller in there like a missile.
And this secondary is deep, it's athletic, and Mekhi Miller is one of those guys, 6'1", 200 pounds. And they talk about him being one of those thicker safeties that's always going to be around the ball. Great job of coming up, face tackling it, wrapping his arms, and forcing this 3rd and short here.
Loss of 1, 3rd and 3 for Jenkins. We've seen him use his legs on 3rd down before. The toss to the outside. Here's Owens racing for the first down marker. And Owens appears to have gotten, it looks like he might be a little short here though. 4th down.
You have to think that they're going to go for it here. They have all the momentum. They scored a touchdown on the last drive. And check out the right tackle and right guard. Really good job on that side. Really close right there. I want to see that in a little slow-mo.
Owens seemed a little nonchalant going for that first down marker. Sometimes we see guys dive and they realize they're close.
Here's the Philadelphia Eagles Jalen Hurts quarterback sneak formation, and they didn't get it.
Oh,
they did not get it.
They tried to push him.
It doesn't look like he was ready for the football. It looked like the center snapped the ball too early, and Jenkins tried to get across with no momentum, and the Aggies did a great job of stopping him. That's actually the first time I've ever seen a team on any level stop that type of quarterback sneak.
Hey, first time for everything. So the Aggie defense, a big-time 4th and 1 stop. And they take the momentum right back from FIU as looks like Jenkins is over there talking to head coach Mike McIntyre. A little miscommunication on the snap. I agree with you.
Play is under review. Review if the runner made to the line of gain.
So we'll take another look here, and I'm curious, Dante, what you see specifically.
You see how he handled that ball?
Yes.
He wasn't ready. The center snapped it a little early. He didn't have momentum to go forward. The offensive line wasn't surging forward, and this is where the defense creates a pile and knocks the quarterback back. I don't think it's close. I think it's first down, Aggies going the other way.
We've seen some quarterbacks in this situation reach the ball forward. Is this something that he maybe should have done here?
No, because there's too many defenders swarming around the ball, and they tell you, if you see defenders around the ball and you don't have a clear hole to put that football across that first down marker, then don't keep it in there. You see how many guys are swinging at it? It's impossible to put it across the line of scrimmage.
So they'll review this, but this is a major swing in this game already. It just felt like FIU was moving the ball down the field, had no problem, and we go back to the carry on the outside by Owens where he was just nudged out of bounds by that first down marker. Felt like he...
I don't know if I like the call. Jenkins is a smaller quarterback, 5'11", maybe 5'10", 190 pounds. I think that with his elusive ability, if you spread it out, go empty, and you allow him to improvise, he could possibly pick it up with his legs. When you tighten it in like that, you're pretty much telling the defense what you're doing, and you limit what you can do on offense.
So the officials continuing to take a look at this just to make sure the call was correct, but obviously very frustrating for Mike McIntyre because you're moving the ball, things are getting into rhythm, and then all of a sudden you can't convert a 4th and short based upon either the snap or an execution issue. And they talk about the errors, the mistakes that you can control that you need to fix.
And then you have to think about the call as well. Sometimes it's not just the players.
The ruling on the did not make the line gain. First down, New Mexico State.
To the jubilation of this crowd, the call stands. So that brings up a fresh set of downs and gives the ball back to New Mexico State and Diego Pavia. So when we come back, the Aggie offense will take the field and try to take the lead here as the defense has taken care of business and given the ball back to them.
Trick or treat! Kick yeah. Reese's!
Oh, great costume. Looks like you deserve both.
6,000 global destinations. One loyalty program that lets you guest how you guest.
This will ever remain true in any level of football that low man wins. When you look at the Aggies defensive line, they were in anticipation of that ball being snapped. They all came off and took out the arms and the legs of the offensive linemen, stopping the surge, and then the linebackers cleaned it up. That was textbook on how you stop the quarterback sneak.
Chopped down that entire offensive line for FIU, and so now Diego Pavia takes over, empty backfield. Now he'll get a roommate back there. Now Pavia leads this team in rush yards coming into this game today. 6 attempts for -3 yards. Fakes the handoff to Brady. Pavia rolls out, dumps it off. Tomas Whitford, the tight end, with the reception.
Whitford did a good job of attacking safety C.J. Christian's outside leverage. They're playing a form of quarters, which means he has that quarter of the field, but also responsible for the tight end vertical. Gets outside, makes the catch, and Pavia delivers an accurate football. Great job on first down.
5th catch of the season for Whitford. It's good for 16 yards. Under 30 seconds left to go here in this first quarter. Pavia 6 of 7 on the night for 62 yards and a touchdown. The handoff, trying to get outside, gets a couple of blocks, and that's Watkins once again, the burner, picking up a handful.
Good job of Watkins turning it up and not trying to continue to run outside, and Whitford is the lead back on that. He's more of a hybrid fullback tight end, and in their running game, where the tight end goes, that's where the ball goes.
Well, it's already great that we have football on a Wednesday night. It helps when it's an entertaining first quarter, tied at 7 apiece between New Mexico State and FIU. Two teams hungry for their first conference win. Second quarter action when we come back.
To watch all the Europa League action is back.
Right now, right?
Yeah, until the end of the season, only Tuesday.
2nd and 7 to start the second quarter. And they go to Watkins again. He gets chopped down, but we have a flag on the field.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
That's definitely what Coach Keel doesn't want to see. He talked about not hurting themselves, pre-snap penalties, holding calls, and that's their best player. Pete there, let's check him out on the left tackle there. Yeah, just that left hand grab the outside shoulder pad, and they caught it early.
He's a great story. He's been kind of banged up all season, was about to quit football, but then this coaching staff sat down, had a heart-to-heart, and not only did he return to football, became one of the team's best players, especially on the offensive line. They say he's the best of the group. So here's Pavia, the keeper. Pavia gets back to the original line of scrimmage nearly, but brings up 3rd and long.
And that's another staple in their offense, and a great job of the offensive line executing. Right there is an empty formation. They want to give the look that they're going past, and they want to get the offensive lineman downfield on the second level and then allow Pavia to use his instincts. Great job there picking up the yards and putting it in a 3rd and manageable instead of a 3rd and extremely long.
And that was Donovan Manuel putting a stop to the run. And so New Mexico State 0 for 2 on 3rd down here in the first half. Jones will empty the backfield. Pavia has options. Here comes the pressure. Dante, and it's great to see him really embrace that mentality of helping others.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So the false start will help out the New Mexico State defense as Travis Burke whistled for that, the left tackle. But you take over this job, Jerry Kill, and he said, listen, I'm used to building programs back up, and he has continued to rebuild the culture here, whether it's through the transfer portal or bringing in freshmen, and they have bought into this system.
They have bought into the system here, and he talked about developing them as young men primarily, and then football players secondarily.
Hard hat, lunch pail. I don't imagine a lot of white collars walking through there as they get set to take on the day, and that's what you have to have when you come to a school like New Mexico State. You're going to be punching up out of your weight class sometimes, and you want players that can embrace the grind. So the gain by Mitchell in the last play, and another flag here.
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So Phillip Houston, the other tackle now, and that's 3 penalties for 15 yards against FIU already. It was 2nd and 9, but that'll back it up, make it 2nd and 14, and you go to the wristband and look for a change in play.
And then these are the things that just kills your offensive drives, negative penalties, self-inflicted wounds.
Jenkins flips it out. That's Jackson McDonald, the tight end, but an excellent tackle by Keyshawn Elliott to make it 3rd and long.
And that's a great job of just being good with your eyes, doing the simple things at an extraordinary level. You're responsible for the tight end and man coverage. You don't go for the play action fake. And then when you close to the tight end, you make a solid tackle. Those are the fundamentals that get overlooked sometimes.
3rd and 14, most important thing for this Aggie defense right now.
The most important thing for the Aggie defense right now is to get pressure, but not be too cautious, to get Keyshawn Elliott as the man spy on him and not give up explosives.
Here's Jenkins. Protection breaks down, flushed out of the pocket, has to throw it late. Flag on the play. Catch is made by Mitchell, well short of the first down, but we'll hear what the 3rd flag on this drive is.
And guess who that is we saw pursuing the quarterback? That was the backup 3rd-string quarterback, McKellen Young, chasing the quarterback down. They told us, Jerry Kill said we would see him to give us speed change up and to, create some different angles for the quarterback there. He looked good chasing the quarterback right there to me.
Looks like preliminary hold. Sort this out.
The result of the play is a completed catch. Holding offense, number 77. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So 2 penalties on the left tackle, Travis Burke, in the last 5 plays. And you mentioned it. These just kill your drives. You see the frustration by Burke as he heads to the sideline. And this is what FIU talked about. Our offense can be hot or it can be dormant. We've got to find that consistency. And that was Exhibit A of what they've struggled with.
And this is the opposite of what Mike McIntyre wanted for his offense. They wanted to possess the ball, get multiple first downs. They're going backwards.
Montiel to punt. Akels picks up a couple, and the Aggie offense will take the field when we come back.
When you have something to get done today, getting everything you need today is helpful. That's why Ace has free in-store and curbside pickup, or even same-day delivery from your locally owned neighborhood Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Feast your eyes on Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico. Fresh dough made daily, topped with our signature sauce. 3 real cheeses, classic pepperoni, plus crispy cupped Old World pepperoni. Pure pepperoni perfection for just $9.99, but for a limited time only.
Hold it!
Imagine a world with no drama.
I haven't signed Jody's card yet.
At 4imprint, finding the promotional products you need to create a memorable moment is an easy mission. Our expert team will take care of every detail to make your success a certainty. Take the drama out of ordering promotional products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
All right, Dante, let's check out one of the best defenders in Conference USA.
Yeah, and he does it all. You see pursuit here. He explodes through the gap. They lose contain, and he runs the back down from the backside. That's relentless pursuit. And then here, stout at the point of attack. They try to go counter to get him to false step. No false steps. He steps in the gap. He engages, and upon contact, he knocks the ball carrier backwards. That's what you want from your leader. And then right here, playing out in space. In college football, you see a lot of bubble screens, but it's not only getting to the receiver, it's getting beaten blocks and getting the receivers on the ground. He can do it all.
Let's take a look at the player profile brought to you by Mass General Brigham, and you see the 4 forced fumbles. First in the nation, 7 tackles for loss, also leads the team. And when you talk to defensive coordinator Javon DeWitt, he said both Manuel and Reggie Peterson, the 2 linebackers, are always watching film. They love the game of football. They're texting him after games immediately saying, we could do this better, we could work on that. The type of player that every coach loves to have. 1st and 10 for Diego Pavia in this offense. Pavia 6 of 7 for 62 yards. The handoff. Jones working his way up the middle, finally brought down. Jack Daly in on the stop.
Jack Daly, the transfer from Bryant College, and he's their biggest defensive tackle, 6'3", 315-pound center. And talking to Coach Dewitt, he said that he just does his job, right? He understands he's supposed to eat 2 or 3 in the run game each and every play. He's always where he's supposed to be, and that's what you saw there, anchoring in, making a tackle.
2nd and 5, trips to the left-hand side of the field. A couple plays in a row. We've seen Pavia look to the sideline. Play action, Pavia, one-on-one on the outside. Completion is made for a 1st down. And that's his man, Trent Hudson, with another reception.
And they have a lot of confidence in Jamal Potts. They're rotating the coverage opposite Potts and leaving him back there one-on-one versus Hudson. Great job of Pavia knowing that pre-snap and getting the ball in there to Hudson with an accurate throw and picking up the 1st down there.
12 yards on the gain. And how about the pace we're seeing from the Aggies? They've certainly been a lot more measured and really taking their time in between each snap.
They started off measured, then they went to the hurry up, and now they're getting back to measured. They want to get back to the running game, continue to wear this defense down.
Utilizing the play action again. Cleared for takeoff down the field. Hudson got tripped up. Well defended by Hezekiah Masses. Brings up 2nd and 10.
And they had it. That was a thoughtful shot there, and they were going for the explosive play. The backside receiver cleared out the defense and allowed Hudson to be one-on-one out there. Just Pavia missed it. There's been multiple times this year where he missed deep throws, and that one was tough because he had defenders in his face. And you see Hudson right there had to fight, hand fight with the outside corner Masses. Just couldn't come down with it. Just a little too far.
We talked with the coaches. They said, don't overthrow the deep balls. Underthrow them. At least give our man a chance. And again, a couple more things for Pavia to clean up as the season goes on. Pavia dumps it off to Star Thomas. One-on-one. Makes a man miss. Thomas. Shifty. Excellent individual effort. Keep the chains moving.
And that's to be expected from any of the running backs on this team. They feel like their guys can beat any other defenders one-on-one in the open field. Pavia looking downfield, nothing there. Just dumps it to Star Thomas. Don't take a chance with the ball. And Thomas picks up a first down by lowering his shoulder at the end of that play there. The 225-pound back is really good receiving the ball out of the backfield.
That was Elijah Anderson Taylor trying to make the tackle. So Star Thomas starting to help lift this offense here. Pavia again going deep down the field. Got his man, good for the touchdown. Jordan Parker, 49 yards. And they were excited about him, the receiver that can play multiple positions cashes in.
And they're running the train right now on Potts back there. You'll see the slot receiver here. Potts is on him. He gets a free release off, which means that, nobody's up jamming him, taking speed off of him. He sticks him at the top of the route there, and Pavia drops the dime right over the shoulder. Aggies back on the board.
Aggies retake the lead. And Pavia, 9 of 11, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. But that drive, 5 plays for 78 yards, and an absolute dime that is dropped right into the baskets.
These two guys playing man coverage. So what you have to do as a cornerback, knowing that there's so much space on the interior all over here, you have to get inside shoulder of the receiver to take away that and make them run an outside route. If you don't, you're in no man's land, and this is where a receiver can stick you at the top of the route. You don't have help in the middle, and now he has all of that field to the top to just run away from you. Easy throw from Pavia to drop it in there.
And how about Pavia? The response, he overthrew a shot like that 2 plays earlier. That time it was right on the money. And that puts New Mexico State up by 7. About 8:30 left here in the first half. 134 passing yards for the Aggies, 171 yards total. So they've really relied on going through the air. And listen, you got your 4-legged friend coming to get the tee. You're up by 7. It's a wonderful night here, Wednesday night in Las Cruces, as we take a look at the quarterback comparison.
Yeah, and you see it. Jenkins has played well. They just got stopped on 4th down. Pavia missed a few throws, but this is what we expected coming into the game. Pavia is averaging 18 yards per completion. They rely heavily on the explosive play.
Jenkins going to keep it himself. Nowhere to go. It's a party in the backfield. Gabriel Iniguez getting in on the action. Gabe Peterson also making that first contact.
He had a transfer from City College of San Francisco. Did a great job of penetrating there, but not just affecting the quarterback, actually getting him on the ground. Great job there of swarming and getting him on the ground there.
And Dante, here we go. Another series where already 2nd down, FIU completely off schedule. And another flag. We saw FIU plagued by these on their previous drive.
False start. Offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Wyatt Lawson, now the 3rd different offensive lineman, whistled for a false start in this quarter, and it really feels like, Dante, FIU's got to regain their composure at this moment.
Yeah, you would think that the crowd noise would be affecting them. There's not much crowd noise, so I don't know what's really going on up there up front.
Jenkins, the keeper, trying to dance around. Picks up about 7 yards, but brings up 3rd and long.
And that's the way you neutralize the pass rush. And to get it back into a 3rd and probable, like you can possibly get this, not 3rd and extremely long. You expect some max protection here where they probably have 3 men out in the route. And the 3rd option is going to be Jenkins taking off, trying to pick it up with his legs. But what you can expect from the Aggies here is some pressure. And you're going to have Elliott spying them.
FIU 2 of 5 on 3rd down. Here's Jenkins, has some time in the pocket, has to dump it off to the back. Oh, the ball pops out. Ruled incomplete, though. Shamari Lawrence was absolutely rocked as soon as he caught that.
And I tell you what, that's one of those when you go to the sideline and you have a talk with your quarterback and you say, hey, man, if you see that safety just hovering over the top of me,
an incomplete pass.
Do not throw me the ball and get me lit up like a Christmas tree. That is a big hit. Shamari Lawrence is going to field that one in the morning, and he could have actually ran through him a little more, but it looks like he tried to avoid the helmet-to-helmet contact. Daniel did a really, really good job of arriving with ill intentions.
I think he was watching some of your old game film before this one.
Yeah, he probably was.
So 4th and 13, that'll force another punt. Fair catch is made at the 42-yard line, but the Aggie defense starting to flex their muscle, putting the ball in the hot hands of Pavia once again.
Built for the guy who has everything and needs...
But you wanted more heat, so now you can get it in spicy. Get a one topping for $13.99, only at Papa John's.
CBS Sports celebrates the contributions, achievements, and cultural impact of Hispanic and Latinx communities during Hispanic Heritage Month. New Mexico State 14-7 lead on this school night. And it doesn't stop the Aggie faithful from coming out and supporting their team. And a couple of observations here on the Aggie offense, Dante. We've seen play action for about 80 to 90% of the last couple of plays for the Aggies, and we haven't really seen Pavia run the ball since he took that huge shot earlier in the quarter.
Well, when you have so many guys running free through the defense, there's no need for him to run the football. I think that with the FIU Panthers, they have to go back to some zone coverage. They have to force Pavia to dink and duck and hopefully get some turnovers off of him.
David, the motion man. Here's Watkins racing to the outside once again, and I tell you what, every time they give the ball to Watkins, he's making something happen.
And they're being intentional about getting him to the edge, getting him in space, and in one-on-one situations. You see Jones there pick up the block on 42, and then Watkins just does the rest. Again, averaging 12 yards per carry. And he's just a 10-4, 100-meter sprinter with a football uniform on, and that's how they want to utilize him tonight.
One of 3 players with over 200 yards rushing on the season, so plenty of options for the Aggies. Fresh set of downs. Play action once again. Pavia rolling to his right on the run, and an absolute dot to the other quarterback, Eli Stowers.
And Aggies are doing a good job with motion, making the safeties rotate, but then also getting them out of position. You see 24 Daniel gets out of position right there because he's trying to bump to the next closest man, and by that time the receiver has crossed his face. Great job of Pavia delivering an accurate ball right there to get his feet down in bounds.
12-yard gain for Stowers, the transfer from Texas A&M, and the coaching staff calls him a freak athlete. Feels like he's got a better future at the next level as a receiver, so putting out
44-inch vertical.
Putting out some good game film right now, I'll tell you that much. Pavia keeps it, fakes the pitch. Pavia, a late pitch to the outside. Dangerous decision at the last moment to Jonathan Brady, but yields positive yardage.
Yeah, that's probably not the decision that you want to make as you're being tackled. And you better believe that Keel is going to let him have it when he gets to the sideline. There were some games earlier in the season that he missed the pitch to Watkins that could have went for 80, 90 yards. There, I see what he was thinking. He felt like he had a chance to get it to Brady on the outside to break contain. It's just too risky.
C.J. Christian, well defended by him, 2nd and 4. This time Pavia turns around, fakes the handoff, across the middle, intercepted. It was ripped away. C.J. Christian, what a heads-up play defensively.
The transfer from Iowa Central Community College comes away with the big turnover. There, jumped the route, tipped it, double caught it. And let's take a second look at it. I don't know why Pavia threw that ball. You see the safety has the angle, and that's just great awareness. We practice the tip drill all the time as safeties. I don't know what Pavia was thinking there, but Christian came down with the improbable play. Great job of coming away with the interception.
And it shows you how narrow the margins are. He puts that ball just outside his frame. It's available for Christian to rip away instead of right on the numbers. And they said CJ Christian, great ball skills. And is that the turnover t-shirt cannon? That is a first on the road as well. So we'll see if they throw the shirt back. But the FIU offense had 75 yards on the first touchdown drive, 65 yards on their other 4 drives.
And specifically, defensive coordinator Dewitt talked about his ball skills. That was a great depiction of his ball skills right there. And even last year, Christian dislocated his shoulder here in New Mexico State. So that's a great revenge play right there of coming away with the big interception.
Nearly a year ago to the day as well. Here's Jenkins, has time, rolling to his left. Jenkins puts it on his tight end, Josiah Miamin, with another reception. Keeps the drive rolling.
And that's what you want to see right there. You come away with the turnover, you pick up the first down. Nice, easy throw for your young quarterback here late in this second quarter. And you just want to keep the momentum, keep the chains moving, and get into the red zone.
Keyshawn Elliott in on the stop is an 11-yard gain. Oh, coming in. Hey, the big-time sack by Sterling Webb, but then we have a flag afterwards.
Initially, it was good protection, and then you see Webb flash from nowhere. It looked like he launched himself.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 26.
You can't do that.
That's the player's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And he was just excited. He was so excited. And that was pretty athletic to be such a big guy. To be able to do a front flip and then almost a split, that was incredible. You got to forgive him, Coach.
Very strong spherical body helps him do that for sure, but might be some discipline sometime this week after that. Jenkins to the outside. And finally a penalty against New Mexico State to help this FIU offense. It was their second penalty of the game. Just 25 yards of penalties so far. Brings up 2nd and 6.
And Coach Keel talked about being old school with his discipline. You can see him right there. He is fuming because he knew that they had opportunity to get off the field after that big sack.
Keyshawn Owens, the handoff. 3rd down coming up. They have a hill here called Kill Hill, and I imagine might be paying a visit to that one.
Oh, he will be paying a visit to that one. We talked about Coach Jim Tressel and how he would discipline us and make us bear crawl every line on the football field. Well, it looked like Webb is going to be seeing Keel's heel, and here we have a 3rd and short here. You can expect the New Mexico team to try to heat him up, come with some pressure, man coverage on the outside, but also Jenkins to try to escape and pick it up with his legs.
3rd and 2, Jenkins pitches it to the outside. Lawrence gets a block. Make that Keyshawn Owens actually getting the handoff, and so capable backs left and right as Owens picks up the big first down.
Whenever you see those big outside runs, somebody on the outside did a really good job of sealing, and it was 54 that sealed the defense off and then allowed Owens to get outside and utilize his speed. FIU has responded late here in the second quarter.
Another trip to the red zone for the Panthers. Jenkins has time across the middle of the field, and that is caught. Dean Patterson in traffic.
Transfer from Finley did a good job of fighting off a hold from the outside corner, breaking on the inside and catching a clean ball from Jenkins. They're here in the red zone, so look for Jenkins' legs to be activated, or maybe an outside fade or back shoulder fade to Chris.
The gravity of that Sterling Webb penalty after that 3rd down sack continues to get heavier and heavier as FIU inches closer to the goal line. 1st and goal. Jenkins, play action, deflected, nearly picked off. A huge opportunity falls out of the hands of Keyshawn Elliott.
Keyshawn Elliott would love to have that ball back. There's no better way to stop a drive that's in the red zone than an interception. He started the blitz. He pulled out, jumped. The ball probably came so quickly. When you're 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, that ball is nearly impossible to intercept. But if he didn't do that, that would have been an easy touchdown for Dean Patterson.
2nd and goal. Lawrence in the backfield, gets the pitch. Lawrence racing to the outside. He's got blocks, and he's got a touchdown. FIU a point away from tying this up.
And Mike McIntyre has to like that from his offense. The response, getting the ball back with the turnover, creating some explosives in the running game, and then finishing it in the end zone.
Dante, I go back to the Sterling Webb penalty. He makes the sack on the quarterback. It brings up 4th down, but he celebrates afterwards. That keeps the drive alive, and now this game is officially tied. So 9 plays, 81 yards, 3 minutes, 24 seconds, but more importantly, a tie ball game as FIU gets right back into this one, capitalizing off the turnover here.
CJ Christian comes away with the improbable interception tip drill, and then you have Shamari Lawrence on the outside running it in for the touchdown.
You know, they say, losing hope, that's the real disaster. Last year, Tropical Storm Fred sent a devastating wall of water and debris down this river. And when the waters receded, Belfour was here. Not just to rebuild, but to help restore the life of this community. Belfour, restoring more than property.
FIU getting a big-time touchdown right before halftime. And keep in mind, Dante, New Mexico State will receive the kick to start the second half. And that last drive aided by an unnecessary celebration penalty after a 3rd down sack. So how does New Mexico State recover? We'll find out. But coming up, we'll send you to the studio for the Verizon Halftime Report. Let's check out the scoring summary. 9 plays, 81 yards, 324. It was Lawrence, the 6-yard rush. Had a nice block on the outside by his tight end, McDonald. But if you're New Mexico State, any type of points would be huge here just to get a little bit of momentum going into the locker room.
Yeah, you hope to have a lot of momentum going into the locker room, but you also want to take care of the football. Pavia just threw an interception on the last possession. If you get a good chunk of yards here, maybe you try to get down into field goal or scoring position, but you don't want to force it.
Pavia has to get out of the pocket, hoist it up. So that brings up 2nd down, but you mentioned the turnovers. -1 in the turnover battle right now for the Aggies. They're 0-3 this year when they lose the turnover battle in each game so far. Claude Larkins helping to apply the pressure there.
They are. It's a direct correlation between them losing the turnover margin and them losing the game. And that's why they've lost the first game, won the second, and they've followed that pattern. Pavia knows that it's all on his shoulders to take care of the football, especially here in a 2-minute situation.
2nd and 10. 1 minute, 20 seconds left here in the first half. Aggies will receive the second half kick. Pavia, straight drop back to the outside, and that is a crisp completion to Jonathan Brady for the first down.
And that's another job of Jonathan Brady getting up on the safety's footsteps, on his toes, and breaking to his outside leverage. It's an easy throw. There was a lot of room there.
Now I see the tempo pick up for the Aggies. Pavia contested. Bellamy couldn't come down with it. Adrian Cole on the defense.
And that was Cole, the transfer from Syracuse. And they speak about how fast he is, his football IQ, and there on the comeback route, just top shoulder, not interfering with the receiver and knocking the ball away. New Mexico State has to be careful here. Another incompletion to stop the clock. You could give the FIU Panthers the ball back with a chance to score some points with 3 timeouts.
And you've seen the Aggies take their time on any stop clock situation, whether it's out of bounds or an incompletion, but then went a little hurry up. And they finally got some yardage. Dumps it off. Star Thomas has to dance around. Thomas bursting forward, finally wrapped down. We'll have the first timeout of the half called here in just a moment as the Aggies stop time.
And Star Thomas is so good catching the ball out the backfield and making
State.
that first guy miss. It was almost like a screen. It was designed to go to him. He get Roberts out in space and pretty much makes him miss, picking up, 7 yards on that play. Put them in a third and pretty much medium. This is very manageable here for the New Mexico State offense. And Star Thomas is another one of those big backs, 225 pounds, can pound on the defense, but he's very nimble outside the pocket, especially with the ball in his hands.
Both Thomas and Jones, two of the backs for the Aggies, coaching staff said these are guys that, if they didn't have to share the backfield with one another, could carry the ball 20-plus times per game, but they distribute the love, give everybody some touches, and keep these guys fresh.
They all have similar attributes, but they're different. Watkins is the speed guy outside. Star Thomas, he can do it all. So it's whatever back is hot at the moment, he's going to get the carries.
3rd and 4. This time the handoff, it's Thomas getting to the outside. Thomas still pushing forward, trying to get to the first down.
They took the ball. That's a fumble.
We have the ball ripped away. We'll see if play was stopped beforehand, though. This was very close to your point, though, Dante.
Oh.
The ruling on the field was the runner's progress was stopped after reaching the line of gain. First down.
That seemed very close to me. It looked like Star Thomas was still making guys miss and trying to get extra yards. And they just stripped the ball from him.
FIU. That's their first time out of the half. 30 seconds.
So FIU will call timeout as McIntyre, for obvious reasons, fired up on the sideline. He felt like his team got their second turnover of the game. One more look.
Yeah, he's very hot there on that sideline. And you see a Star Thomas, good job of making the first guy miss in Manuel, making Potts miss, actually retreating from the line of scrimmage. And that's when the ball came out. I think that it's like a bang-bang play, but we can't really hear when the whistle is blown. Here's real time. Gets outside, McManuel miss. Another missed tackle there, still fighting for yards. It's like almost simultaneous.
And what's important is the call on the field, and that was forward progress that was stopped, and so.
But that's a problem that Star Thomas had last week. There was a guy that ripped the ball out, but even if that ball isn't blown dead, you have to protect the ball as a halfback, as a running back, especially in this position in the game, in this area of the field.
Thomas stays in the backfield. They're going to motion David to the other side of the formation. 50 seconds left. Pavia, play action, pressure coming, has to get out of it quickly, and that is just simply dropped on the outside. Ron Tiavasue couldn't bring it in, so brings up 2nd and 10.
He's a guy in that fullback tight end role where they use him as a lead blocker, and that's an easy catch there. Just took his eyes off of it. Probably saw so much green grass in front of him. Got a little excited there.
Came into this game with 2 catches for 34 yards. Second and 10, 45 seconds left. 2 receivers on each side. Pavia again. Can't get comfortable in the pocket. Has to roll out to his right. Heaves it downfield, trying to make the connection. Overthrew Hudson. High degree of difficulty on that throw. 3rd down coming up.
And they are running these corners off every time with deep routes. And they have to do a better job of keeping Pavia in the pocket. It's too easy for him to get outside the pocket and potentially make that explosive play. That's another one right there where Pavia has this ability to get outside the pocket and throw the ball anywhere on the field. Just a little bit too far for Hudson.
Credit the FIU defense. Last handful of plays, getting really nice push from those interior linemen, forcing Pavia to retreat. So 3rd and 10. Empty backfield. Pavia dumps it off for a short little completion. Hudson goes down. And New Mexico State will call one more timeout. So 4th and 5. You figure 31 seconds, you go for it here.
New Mexico State. That's their second time out of the half. 30 seconds. So Dante, it's been an exciting first half, but we've seen both teams
have the momentum and then some self-induced errors to really hand it back to the other team.
And we talked about the similarities going into this game. Both head coaches told us how their offenses are hot sometimes, how they're cold, how they don't want to turn the ball over, how they need to stay on the field. For half of this first half, New Mexico State have been able to stay on the field to get first downs. Half of the time, FIU have been able to do it. But they still like more consistency from their offenses.
So the Aggies will punt. Zach Haynes in, which you feel like is a good decision, because if you don't get 4th and 5, you can work with that field position if you're FIU with a couple of timeouts.
It looks like the FIU Panthers defense is going to stay on the field for a punt safe. They're not going to send a guy back to potentially receive this punt.
Haynes will buy an extra second, waiting. Sends it down, and unfortunately the coverage team can't keep it in play, but either way, it's only 20 seconds left in the first half.
Guys, you're on the same team, same jersey color. Just tip it in to one of the guys, and you see it there. A great job of getting down there, trying to reestablish himself in bounds, and then there's just too many people fighting for the football.
The kicker's upset because that hurt, the punter upset, hurts the average a little bit right there, but he did his job. You put it within the 5, you hope your coverage team can get there and stop it just short of the green, but that'll bring FIU onto the field. You imagine they'll just be rather conservative and take this thing into halftime tied up. But good composure from Jenkins as far as getting his team back into this game when the offense was starting to stall a little bit.
Absolutely. Jenkins is everything that we thought he would be. Very elusive, confident, aggressive. I think we're gearing up for a great second half here.
Both teams looking for their first win in conference play on the first ever Wednesday night game for New Mexico State and the first ever Conference USA game here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Our halftime score, FIU New Mexico State tied at 14 apiece. After these commercial messages, stay tuned for the Verizon.
Be bold. Shape the future.
You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell, baby. Tied at 14 apiece here in Las Cruces. Wednesday night football, competitive game. Couldn't really ask for much more here, Dante.
No, we couldn't, and we have two quarterbacks that can really light up the scoreboard and make defenses look silly. And we have two defenses that are playing as well as they played all year. I think this one is going to come down to the wire late in the fourth quarter when it's decided.
To your point, both teams have combined 4 of 12 on third down. So the Aggies, who won the toss, will receive to start the second half as they kicked off the first half. And that's why that late touchdown, just to recap things, for FIU, they were sacked on third down, a loss of nearly 7. But a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty for the celebration afterwards kept the drive alive. They punch it in with about a minute and a half left to tie this game up.
Yeah, Sterling Webb, he's going to be seeing a lot of heel this week, especially if they lose this game. If they win it, he might forgive them. If they lose it, he'll be on the heel all night.
Pavia, 13 of 20, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's Star Thomas that gets the handoff. Slight little push, but credit that FIU defensive front for holding their water.
And we see the adjustment that the FIU Panthers made on defense. Right now, they're not playing a lot of man coverage like they ended that first half playing. They're playing a lot of 4 deep across so that they can limit those explosive plays and those deep over routes and have the safeties triggering in on the run. So I like the adjustment here in the second half.
We'll see what the counter punch is from the Aggies. 2nd and 8. Thomas in the backfield once again.
Now they walk that extra safety in the box. Look for him to take a shot outside.
Pavia, play action, out route, completion made. Jonathan Brady, one of his favorite targets this season. So the second half is going to be big for New Mexico State. Their last game against Hawaii, just 14 plays, They held the ball for only 8 minutes and 24 seconds, 3 possessions. You see the results. We talked to Coach Kill. He said it was just one of those weird football games to be a part of.
One of those games where you're on the sideline as a coach and you're like, this is so weird. We just hope that we can get out of here with a W. They hope that that's not the case tonight. They hope to keep the ball, get some first downs, and get into the end zone after finishing these drives.
They led for that entire game until the very end when Hawaii kicked a game-winning field goal. Trying to get it on the flat, breaks the tackle. Oh, a huge missed tackle on the outside. And the quarterback, we called his name again, Eli Stowers, showing his athleticism, keeping the drive alive.
And he also showed some power right there. You see how he lowered that shoulder on Daniel and continued to run up the field? Stowers is showing me something tonight where he can align at wide receiver, he can align at quarterback, he can align at running back, and he can run with speed and power.
Deverick Daniel had a chance at him, but instead the 6'4", 225 Stowers powers through the tackle. 1st and 10. Here's the handoff. Thomas, nothing going. And credit this FIU defensive front. Got some veteran players here, some size as well too, that really helped this team turn things around.
And they're doing a good job of being stout up front. Coming into this game, they were giving up 212 yards per contest on the ground. And I don't know if the New Mexico State team has over 70 yards rushing tonight. That's a phenomenal job. Setting the edge, getting on and off of blocks, but then making the tackles.
Just 62 yards on the ground for the Aggies here. 2nd and 9. Whitford, the tight end, in that short motion. Designed rollout. Pavia is trying to get the max protection, able to turn it into a productive play though. As Pavia continues his efficient night.
And that's a normal play where they run a sprint out, the slot receiver breaks to the sideline, but then he makes an adjustment. The corner overplayed the sideline route, the receiver makes the adjustment, comes back, and makes a good connection with Pavia to pick up that first down.
14-yard gain for Donovan Faupel, the freshman, getting some early action here. Reminiscent of that opening drive for New Mexico that took over 6.5 minutes for New Mexico State. Led to a score, the first one of this game. And gobbled up behind the line of scrimmage. And right now, Thomas has been having to work extra hard for a lot of those yards as O'Neal was the first man to him.
And you see they had a run stunt on where they're slanting to the inside. Number 90, O'Neal, does a good job of not going for the inside fake from Star Thomas. And then like they talked about all week, they've had problems tackling. They talked about tackling the ankles and the legs of the running backs, going low and getting them down for a TFL. 2nd and 12 here.
Pavia, this time rolling to his right. Easy catch and completion, and then running afterwards, Trent Hudson. Hudson, his 4th reception of the night. Brings New Mexico State just outside the red zone, a 26-yard gain.
And normally Trent Hudson, he stretches the field. But this concept right here is still another sprint out where number 1 sits on the sideline. The defense is supposed to radar him, whoever's responsible for the flag. They get lost, an easy pitch and catch for first down.
You saw the frustration from Mike McIntyre on the sideline as that play developed right in front of him. Now a trio of players in the backfield here with Pavia.
And they have Stowers in the backfield.
Stowers, you're absolutely right, at quarterback now. The handoff to Thomas. Thomas has a block, and Thomas races to the sideline for a first down.
And that 3-back look is really a 4-back look with Stowers back there. And there's so many players that you have to worry about. You have Star Thomas coming on the dive in the A-gap where the defense has to converge. And then you have the speed to the outside with Stowers. Right there, they got confused. They didn't set the edge. And that was an easy pickup on the ground for the first down.
Tonight's Red Zone is brought to you by Verizon as Stowers still stays in the game at quarterback. The handoff again to Thomas, trying to muscle his way forward. Second and goal coming up here.
And it's still going to keep Stowers out there. Don't be surprised if he throws a fade ball or if they go to the triple quarterback option here. When he's in the game at quarterback with 3 running backs back there with him, those are the plays that they've shown in previous contests.
Stowers, the redshirt sophomore from Denton, Texas, has 2 catches for 20 yards tonight.
There's a lot of room down here to the bottom of the screen. Look for the fade.
Stowers keeps it himself, misses the first tackle, but then finally brought down about the 5-yard line. And so you see the elusiveness, but now 3rd and goal from the 5, and the pressure's on this offense.
Now they're going to bring Pavia back in. It's an obvious passing situation here, and you see the defense really wasn't full. You see them. The quickest way to stop this stuff is to penetrate, right? Don't go with the movement of the offensive lineman. Get upfield, make the back have to cut, or the quarterback in that case. And they did a good job there. 3rd and goal here. This 15th ranked FIU defense in the red zone is going to have to step up here and make a big play.
As you mentioned, Pavia back in the game at quarterback. They motion Thomas out. Empty backfield now. Pavia, pocket collapses, has to lollipop one out there as he's hit. And so the defense for FIU holding strong.
And he did a good job of bringing pressure there, setting the edge. It almost forced Pavia into an errant throw. It looked like he was trying to go for a jump throw there. The formation said they had 4 to the left side, 1 to the right. He tried to draw the defense to him and then jump past it at the last moment. He's probably lucky that it hit the ground because there was a defender closing underneath where he was going to throw the football.
Credit Alex Nobles on the pressure. 23-yard attempt here for Ethan Albertson, one of the all-time great kickers in school history. And right through the pipes. That'll give New Mexico State a 3-point lead. But the FIU defense showing why they're one of the nation's best in the red zone.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's with the
Paramount Plus? And how about this? Alabama 35-1 on the road versus unranked teams since the start of 2008. And shout out to CBS Research. That one loss, you guessed it, Texas A&M in 2021. But keep an eye out on the sack rate and the sack rate allowed here. And Dante, you got to pick a winner in this one. Who you rolling with?
I have to go with the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm a huge Nick Saban fan. I'm from Ohio State, but a lot of the coaches that I played for at Ohio State, they were from up under Nick Saban. So whenever he gets a quarterback, he's really going to get it done. But right now they're doing it with defense, they're doing it with the running game, and I'm going with the Crimson Tide.
Jalen Bracey, one of the rare kickoff returns we've seen tonight, gets it to about the 16-yard line, a 17-yard return. And that'll bring Kewan Jenkins back onto the field. And interesting note, his numbers in victories this season so far off pace of that.
Yeah, but he's really reliant on the deep ball, and they haven't been able to connect on any of those deep balls just one to Chris Mitchell. But they'd like to get that more consistently. They like to max it up, block it up, and allow him to throw the football.
Shamari Lawrence gets the handoff. Tripped up for a gain of 3. Do you feel like Jenkins has felt sped up this game at all, or does he seem like he's under control for the majority of the night?
Well, he doesn't look sped up. Maybe that first series he looked a little sped up, but he looked like he's settled in. He looks comfortable and ready to lead this offense down the field.
A little miscommunication on the mesh there. Keeps it himself, able to get out of trouble. And Jenkins able to turn water into wine. Brings up 3rd down.
And those are the type of things that he can do. I thought he was sacked up here, and you see the offensive line, they're doing the best that they can do. He had problems with the snap there, but he's just so slippery when you're trying to bring him down. And then tackling him in the open field is almost impossible for the first guy to get him down. That's a really good job of not conceding on the play and getting positive yards to put his team in a 3rd and short.
3rd and 4. Panthers 3 of 7 on third down here tonight. Jenkins wants to go outside, intercepted nearly, but instead it goes through the wickets right to Mitchell. So a little deception on that one. Let's watch this one more time because it looked like clear as day that you had the interception for Dylan Early.
And Dylan Early, they said he's one of the smartest guys on the team, the highest IQ, and I tell you why he did it. It was 4x1, and usually when you get 4x1, they throw it to the slant backside, just couldn't come away with it.
And then Dean Patterson with a completion right near midfield. One more look at this, Dante. I have never seen something that is that deceiving from this vantage point.
It's very deceiving, and Mitchell came down with that ball. It was incredible. It looked like the defensive back closed his eyes. It went through his arms, but a great job of concentrating and coming down with the catch. Here, they're trying to push it into the red zone.
Patterson, 21 yards on that last completion. 3 straight completions now for Jenkins. Finds his tight end, Rocky Beers. And now we're starting to see some rhythm develop for this Panther offense.
Earlier I talked about Jenkins having a good feel for the game. Look at that there. Turning his shoulders, not taking the hit, throwing the ball to the tight end to where he can catch it and make a move with it after the catch. He's starting to just really let his instincts kick in now.
2nd and 2. Jenkins will keep it again. Jenkins trying to look downfield, and he is tripped up in the backfield. Keyshawn Elliott, the leading tackler for the Aggies, got to him.
And that's what defensive coordinator Nate Drilling told us. If Keyshawn Elliott plays well and he tackles the quarterback well, we'll have a good chance at winning this game. And you see it there on the blitz just coming through. Jenkins nearly escaping, but they were going to the outside to the double move, slant and go to Dean Patterson. The cornerback on the outside stayed high shoulder, and Elliott comes down with the sack.
Turns a 2nd and 2 to 3rd and 11. The pitch to the outside. Lawrence brought down. Brings up 4th down.
And Shamari Lawrence did a really good job right there of finishing the run on 3rd down, getting his offense in a 4th and short here. And you see the tackle and the tight end set the edge. Shamari Lawrence makes a guy miss and picks up those good, tough, hard yards. This is a 4th down. This is a critical point in the game right here for this FIU offense.
4th and 3. Panthers 0 for 1 on 4th down here tonight. Jenkins, quick pass to the outside. That's his tight end. And the 2nd catch made during this drive for Beers. And more importantly, a 1st down for FIU.
Beers is a trusted receiver for Jenkins, and they were playing a cover 3 on defense, which means somebody was supposed to hover over the top of Beers, but the outside receiver kind of got in the way and made a pick, just enough for the 1st down.
Jenkins, pressure coming from behind, avoids the defender, and then finally Lawrence after the catch is made. And now we've got a flag on the play.
It's almost as if Jenkins has eyes in the back of his head. You see how close these defensive ends get to him and he dips away at the last moment? That's those instincts that we're talking about. Not being a robot at back there, not thinking too much.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 4, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
B.J. Scolark, the defensive back, and that's maybe why you saw Jenkins have to double clutch and go to the check down at that moment. So 1st and 10, 3 penalties for 35 yards for the Aggies.
And that's unfortunate because B.J. Scolark is one of their most trusted veteran players.
Jenkins fires it outside. Patterson again, nice completion, and you're really starting to see the freshman Jenkins get into a groove here.
Yeah, Jenkins is getting to a groove, and they're really trying to target Patterson intentionally here. And B.J. Scolark, again, you have to close to that upfield shoulder. Good job with Dean Patterson giving him a shimmy shake and then getting up the sideline to get those yards after the catch. FIU has responded every time the New Mexico State Aggies have scored tonight.
Is shimmy shake something they teach you at The Ohio State?
Yeah, and I've been shimmy shook a few times at DB.
See, they just taught us a shimmy in college. We didn't get the shake part. And all of a sudden, that is a muddle of defenders quickly wrapping up Jenkins, and that'll bring up third down, a loss of 3.
Yeah, you know what the shimmy shake is. When you get a comeback on the outside, the receiver is facing the quarterback, and then as a DB, you're coming up to try to tackle, and he gives you a shoulder shake. That's what he did there. But good job of this New Mexico State Aggie defense penetrating. That's one way to get to the quarterback. Penetrate, make him stop his feet, but then get him on the ground because he is slippery.
3rd and 5. FIU 4 of 9 on 3rd down. Keep an eye. Nikhil Webb-Walker, one of the best pass rushers for the Aggies, hobbled off the field. Jenkins will keep it himself, but quickly brought down. Gabe Peterson read it like a book, and that brings up 4th down.
And they're really bringing maximum pressure right now on Jenkins. They say, hold up, we're not going to sit back and allow you to just run the football. Right there, it wasn't a pressure, it was more so of a internal run or pass stunt, and they did a good job of disengaging on the offensive lineman and then tackling Jenkins. They're hoping to get this 3 points right here to tie this game.
41-yard attempt for Chase Gabriel. The long this year for him is 45. Kick is up for Gabriel. And we said it before, these two teams mirror images of one another. We are tied at 17 apiece here late in the 3rd quarter. So the Aggie defense taking their turn to hold strong on their half of the field. Holds FIU to just a field goal. Two teams looking for their first conference win. Liking what they're seeing so far.
Ain't no secret in staying in your craft. You just gotta want it, baby. Eating almonds can help you recover from exercise. Fellas, get after it. So eat your almonds. Oh, your craft.
3rd quarter. The Aggies are back in action same time next Wednesday as they welcome Sam Houston here in Las Cruces. Kickoff begins at 9 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. 3rd tie of this game. We said both teams coming in, Dante, they had losses in their last game that they just didn't sit well with. They're looking for their first conference win. Talked about the similarities, and this game is shaping up to be a terrific finish here.
And very evenly matched. Offense, defense, and special teams, both of these teams are very evenly matched, and it's going to be exciting here in the 4th quarter.
So more football next Wednesday. You take a look at the 2 quarterbacks, Shoemaker and Pavia, and why Pavia has given defensive coordinators such a headache. Just look at how impressive his numbers are to one of his counterparts here.
Yeah, he can get it done through the air, on the ground. The option game is trouble for any defense that they face. The only thing is that when he doesn't turn the ball over and connect on a lot of explosive plays, this offense is really hard to stop. So that'll be another exciting matchup next Wednesday night.
Pavia, 17 of 25, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. The interception you could partially blame on the receiver, bobbled the catch, and then it was ripped out of his hands. Other than that, it's been a pretty flawless performance for him. Handoff, trying to go to the outside once again. Monte Watkins making something out of nothing. Watkins. What a play down the sideline. Put them into FIU territory, 27 yards.
Somebody has to be on high alert when Watkins is in the game. They're only running outside runs, and they talked about the missed tackles last week versus Hawaii and how it's showing up again here tonight. That's one thing that you don't want to resurface is the negative tackling, because this is a team that wants to really run the ball, and Watkins right now is still continuing to keep that 12-yard average per run going.
They might take another look at this.
Previous play is under review, reviewing where the runner stepped out of bounds.
We saw Watkins tiptoe the sideline. That's why you go all white shoes, by the way, with the white spat.
Yeah.
Don't make it easy for the cameras.
They call them Billy White shoes. Billy White shoes. And you see them there. The left foot look like it's in. The right foot is in. Let's check it again. Left foot looks like it's still in.
Right heel.
Right foot. But did the right heel touch the ground? No. That right foot is in. Left is in. I think he's in. I think he's in all the way.
It was a 27-yard gain for Monte Watkins. Watkins, 4 carries, 57 yards on the night.
And it's the balance. There was a block in the back right there, which they didn't call. And then you see it just tight roping the sideline. And this kid is just phenomenal. He's just one of the best athletes on this team. He's definitely the fastest player on this team. And when you talk to, Coach Kills, he said, we just can't get him the ball enough. And because when they do, he makes big plays.
And they emphasize getting him the ball in space, and you see what he can do. And it's one thing to get a player the ball in space, but to go with, as you described, the shimmy shank, make a defender miss, you turn in a huge gain that now sets you up in the opposing team's territory.
And a lot of people have this misconception that a lot of bigger backs are harder to tackle. No, it's those fast, quick guys when they get you in the open field one-on-one and they can change direction at the drop of a hat. Those are the guys that really put fear in a lot of defenders, and that's the type of guy and type of runner that Watkins is. What's going through your mind when you get caught on an island one-on-one with one of these shiftier backs? What do you have to keep in mind? Oh, in my career, I've been shook really badly by LaDainian Tomlinson early in my career in Buffalo. Probably gave up a 75-yard touchdown. And then in the divisional round in San Francisco versus the New Orleans Saints, Darren Sproles got me. So you're thinking like I'm scared.
Ruling on the field stands. First down, New Mexico State.
There's a phrase called towing the line, and I think it applies to that situation as a huge gain. And shout out to our camera crew. Just some wonderful angles right there to help them make the correct call. And the best in the business as New Mexico State right beyond midfield. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for Pavia and company. Jamani Jones, the back in the game. And once again, Eli Stowers, the backup quarterback. It's worth mentioning his 3rd reception of the game, trying to do it all here tonight.
And it's also worth mentioning that that's the 3rd time they went to that same pass concept. They're sealing the edge, they're rolling Pavia out, and they're sitting a man on the sideline, and the defense still hasn't reacted to it. And I would do the same if I was New Mexico State. I would continue to go to that play until they stop it.
Officials having a conversation here. They're going to run the clock, and that'll most likely do it for the 3rd quarter. It went by quickly, but guess what? Football, Wednesday night, tie ball game, 4th quarter coming up between two hungry teams in a conference battle. Pair of field goals in the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter action coming up. Aggies ball when we come back.
Enter for a chance to win a trip to see your favorite pro football team play with 5-Hour Energy's ultimate fan.
Billy the Kid was found guilty just down the street. So, Tim, next trivia night, you're sitting right next to me. Tied at 17 apiece, 4th quarter. And you see the rush yards. Both teams not quite up to snuff of their average, but credit the defense. Pavia going to keep it. Pavia! And the gates are open into the end zone, and all of a sudden, Diego Pavia has busted open this game. 43 yards on the QB keeper.
And that's what they're talking about when they talk about the party of the Red Sea. And it was all made possible by the play design and Watkins getting outside. We talked about his speed and how he hurt this defense. Well, they were all fast flowing to Watkins. Pavia kept the ball, scored the touchdown.
So a quick strike to start the 4th quarter. Diego Pavia, this team's leading rusher. Sometimes you just call a play and all 11 members hop on board.
There's no Belichickery here.
When Sunday football isn't enough.
Dislike that take.
Great take.
That other pregame show will put you over the tops.
I'm all in. Let's go viral here.
Every Sunday.
Let the boys play.
CBS Sports celebra el mes de la herencia hispana. CBS Sports celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month.
First rushing touchdown of the season for Diego Pavia. It's a 3-play, 75-yard drive that took just 1 minute and 8 seconds. And the explosive run for Pavia, 43 yards down the middle, has given the Aggies the 7-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter.
And a lot of time what confused the defense there was the motion, the quick motion, changing the run gaps of the defenders, and that's when you have mistakes. New Mexico State doing a really good job of taking advantage of the over pursuit from the linebackers of the FIU Panthers.
And it's interesting, we haven't seen Pavia run the ball quite as much ever since he took a big shot in the first half. A handful of times he does keep it, finds the end zone. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's Serve Pro first responder, that last touchdown run here.
Yeah, and what they did was they put Peterson here in a dilemma. He started outside Watkins as the running back, and when you have that, it's one back, one gap. You see 42 just overruns the guard. He's supposed to be on the inside shoulder of the guard, but with that quick motion right before the snap, it doesn't allow him to get his eyes fixated on that inside A gap, and that's all it takes for a dual quarterback like Pavia to get into the end zone.
Can the Panthers respond? Kewan Jenkins has been on a burner here in the second half, connects with Mitchell. He is now 19 of 23 for the night, his most efficient outing of the season thus far.
And that was a good read right there, a good decision, and good throw to Chris on the outside. They actually had a double team. He worked on the outside guy and split the double team.
6th catch of the game for Mitchell. Make that catch number 7. He's spun around. Picks up the first down, though.
Same coverage as the previous play, same route concept, and the same throw. They had 2 players that are doubling Chris here at the bottom of the screen. If they're going to have 2 guys doubling Chris, they have to work the top of the screen where they have one-on-one.
Keep in mind, FIU has been outscored 35-8 in fourth quarter, so a response desperately needed from their offense as Owens picks up a handful.
And this is where your team's mental toughness is tested. They know that they haven't scored much in the fourth quarter, but they have to all put it together. The offensive linemen have to block well. They have to run the right concepts, and Jenkins have to make the right read and throw and just pick up a first down. Right now, they just want to pick up a first down, keep the chains moving, and keep the football in their possession.
The loss of 1 makes it 2nd and 11. Jenkins has won 29 of his last 30 games dating back to high school. Jenkins going deep, overshoots his man. It was Mitchell wide open down the field.
And he had him wide open. There was one-on-one on the outside. It's one of the few times that they left him in single coverage, and he almost made him pay for it. I think that Mitchell just has to lay that ball out on the opposite hash and allow Mitchell to run up under it. Now you put yourself in a 3rd and long, and you have to expect the Aggies to come with the pressure and try to hurry up the throw.
FIU 4 of 10 on 3rd down. Pressure coming. Jenkins goes down. And the Aggie defense penetrating that line of scrimmage, getting the ball back to their offense.
Yeah, and that was Miles Rauser blitzing from the safety position. He timed it perfectly. He started towards the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped, and as it was snapped, he was penetrating in the backfield. Rauser's really stepped up over previous weeks. He had a forced fumble last week. They say that he's one of the best athletes on their team, and they typically move him around as needed from game to game.
Rauser and Andre Selden are half-brothers. Rauser comes to New Mexico State to be with his brother after being at Campbell last year. And the two have been the formidable pair, and that's secondary for the Aggies.
Outperform with the Pro V1 and Pro V1X.
By Geico. How about the physicality on the QB pressure by Rouser right here?
Yeah, going into the game, we talked about pressure and how they had to affect Jenkins, but not only pressure, but getting home. Exotic blitz, they run a stunt here and then bring Rouser right down the middle to where he times it perfectly. He didn't come away with the sack, but look at him run through the center, knock the quarterback back and create a pile. That's exactly how they wanted to affect Jenkins tonight, and they did the hardest part of getting him on the ground.
For Rouser, a guy that could be a Sunday guy in the NFL, a play like that probably jumps out on film for a lot of those scouts.
It does jump out on film because of the physicality. There aren't too many smaller defensive backs that are willing to run through the chin strap of a center. Rouser did a great job of being physical there, and he's the reason why they're off the field on third down.
Here's a chance for the Aggie offense to make it a two-possession game. Pavia going through the air, a strike down the seam. Catch is made. Bryce Childress just had one reception coming into this game. Gets this one for 26 yards.
And there's too many defensive backs and linebackers reacting to Watkins. Nobody's paying the receivers any mind running down the field. That's an easy pitch and catch from Pavia. The backside safety, who was responsible for getting over to the top of number 3, who he threw the ball to, was a little late getting over there.
Watkins in the backfield has had a tendency to take it to the outside each time he touches it. Pavia keep it. Pavia trying to drop one in and just outside the arms of his number 1 target, Jonathan Brady.
And I tell you, nobody's happier about that play than C.J. Christian. He was beat on a double move very badly where he wasn't even within 15 yards of the receiver. I just know that they wish they just kept that a little closer to Brady there. He's walking in the end zone with an easy touchdown.
Yeah, you saw the pressure come a little early right up the middle towards Pavia. Had to get that one out quickly. Brings up 2nd and 10. The previous scoring drive, they had their 2 longest runs of the game. 28 yards by Watkins, 43 by Pavia on the score. They go to the ground. Things open up once again and tripped up by the turf monster. Oh, Monte Watkins is going to hear that one in the film room.
You just can't believe that. And one thing about Monte Watkins is he was a TCU transfer, but he went to TCU as a defensive back. They said that he learned the halfback playbook in 4 to 5 days, and ever since he's been on that side of the football. And you see it there. He just got so excited, he tripped over his own heel. He's going to hear that from his teammates. That's going to be ugly on film.
First tackle of the game for the 8-yard line. Had 2 of them coming in. But first and goal for the Aggies.
Pavia's doing a good job of switching up the hard count. Multiple times that defensive tackle almost jumped tonight.
The handoff trying to muscle in, and Star Thomas gives the Aggies a 2-score lead here in the 4th quarter.
And that's a great 1-2 combo. You use Watkins and his speed to get you down into the red zone, and then you bring in the bruiser, Star Thomas, to finish across the goal line. The Aggies are taking full control of this game.
4th rushing touchdown of the year for Thomas. 2nd consecutive scoring drive that took under 2 minutes for the Aggies, and all of a sudden, what was a tie game at the start of the 4th quarter is now 31-17.
Whenever you have productivity in the red zone, it starts with the offensive line. Look at the surge, look at the physicality, and he's 225 pounds.
Having health insurance is important. So if anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check the mail for your renewal form. Complete the form and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose your
touchdown lead, with 10:35 left in this ball game.
Yeah, and the Aggies offense is highly dependent on explosive plays on the ground and through the air. And you see that high average of completion and rushing tonight, but even Watkins has upped his average from 12 yards per rush to 18 yards per rush tonight. That's a tremendous job with the offensive line and the offensive playmakers, running backs getting out in the field and breaking tackles and making yards after the contact.
Now let's take a look at the AP Top 10 powered by Ram Trucks. There you have it. And Dante, as a Ohio State Buckeye, I'll let you pick 9 teams to talk about there.
Well, I'm only going to talk about one, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Ohio State University. It's almost like we have a week off this week with Maryland coming into town. But, all of those teams up there, they should have easy weekends for the top 10 in college football.
I know my Oregon Ducks. That 8-yard line, it'll bite you here tonight.
But it's another job, a great job of Mike McIntyre's team responding here in the fourth quarter.
First and goal. Jenkins keeps it himself. Ball batted up. It's up for grabs, and it's an interception in the red zone. And the Aggie defense coming up clutch. And Dante, just like that, an incredible, quick, efficient drive
and
shatters in the end zone for Jenkins and the Panthers.
And that's Andre Selden, the transfer from Michigan, played phenomenal all night. Press coverage, smothering the receivers. And you see it there. Jenkins thought he saw something, but this is what we talk about on defense all the time. Tips and overthrows. Defensive linemen getting their hands up, linebackers tipping balls, and the secondary catching it and coming away with the interception.
David Yost in the booth. Just disappointment. It was 3 quick pass plays for the Panthers here, Dante, that got them right to first and goal at the 5. And to see that drive result in an interception in the end zone is certainly disheartening.
And DC Nate Drilling is feeling great. That's their first interception on the season. He talked about that. They come in bunches, and they've been on the jugs. They've been doing everything possible to get that first interception, and there they came away with it.
We've seen New Mexico State, their last 2 scoring drives under 2 minutes, as the handoff goes to Star Thomas. But Dante, remember, they've had 2 scoring drives of over 6.5 minutes, and this is when you start trying to milk some clock, I imagine.
Yes, this is when you really want to milk the clock. And when you talk about Coach Keel, he wants to finish the game with the football, like all offenses do. This is more of a 4-minute situation where you want to eat the clock, you want to stay in bounds, and you want to really pound and punish the defense. And we have a player down right now that's being attended to.
It's been a relatively injury-free game here tonight. But you see the injured player for FIU heading to the sidelines. So a 2-touchdown lead for New Mexico State. It's 2nd and 9 for FIU.
And they're going to take their time. This is where they want to get into the right running play. A lot of times you'll see Pavia keep the ball here with the quarterback option game and direct quarterback run game. It's all about how they want to play it.
Cordell David, the motion man, and play is whistle dead. Flag on the field.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's Jacob Golden, redshirt junior from Phoenix, Arizona. And you don't want that in this situation, Dante, because now you're going to make it a little bit harder to get that first down. And there's still enough time left in this game. 3 timeouts for FIU. We saw how efficiently they can move the ball on offense. A lot of football left here still.
You're correct. You don't want to take your foot off the gas. You don't want to lose your focus and have these penalties self-inflicted hurt you and not allow you to finish the game with the ball on offense.
2nd and 14. Pavia sets his feet. Max protection going through the air and overshoots Jonathan Brady, who was streaking down the sideline.
And they were thoughtful about the way they took that shot there. They've shown that type of formation and play developing with the sprint out, and they usually break Brady or whoever is at the slot to the sideline. Right there, they broke to the sideline and then broke vertical again, almost like a double move. And the defensive back did a good job of staying high shoulder and not biting underneath. But that would have been an easy touchdown. It's a 3rd and long here, and FIU is trying to get this ball back for their offense.
3rd and 14 after they missed the haymaker on 2nd down. 7:34 left in this ball game. FIU with all 3 timeouts still. Pressure coming. Pavia eludes it. Pavia has to slide. So credit the Panther defense for getting the ball back. Without that much time coming off the clock, potentially.
Yeah, and what you saw there was the defensive line making up and helping the secondary because they were tilting the coverage to the left side of the field, and they left the top corner one-on-one up there, and Diego Pavia saw it. If he would have been able to set his feet and turn his shoulders, it could have possibly been another explosive play. So we talk about it all the time. Defensive line and the secondary are married, and when the defensive line has success, it takes a lot of stress off the secondary.
Just over 2 minutes went off the clock since they took possession. That was Jordan Garrard, number 99, with the pressure on that last play. They're going to give this one a chance. Short little return for Dean Patterson. So Jenkins will try to take it over, get his team back in this one.
I wish for the amazing new iPhone 15 Pro. Sean.
Can't stop anybody. And if you don't have defense in the National Football League, you won't win many games.
Wild to hear trade rumors circulating about him with those numbers. Here is Jenkins. Dumps it to the outside, and Rocky Beers is stood up.
That type of play right there shows me that they don't feel like they can protect Jenkins. So they're trying to get the ball out to the outside, create some pick routes, and hoping that some of these receivers can get some yards after the catch.
2nd and 10. Play action. Jenkins keeps it. Fires it to the sideline. Interception number 2 for the Aggies. And how about the secondary? The performance we've been seeing from them tonight. An exceptional play. Torrin Union, one of the reserve safeties, gives the Aggies back-to-back picks.
And that is the nephew of Gabrielle Union on the outside right there. And he did a really good job of playing the double move, changing direction, jumping in front, getting 2 hands under the ball, and coming away with a big interception. And what did DC Nate Drilling talk to us about? He said, hey, we can't wait to get the first interception, but we do know that when we get the first interception, it's like the olive jar. You pull one out, they're just going to continue to fall. That's 2 consecutive interceptions for this New Mexico State team.
All I've learned is that if you go to The Ohio State, there's something about olive jars and shimmy shakes during your time there, but back-to-back picks. And this has been the difference. Now all of a sudden, New Mexico State is winning the turnover battle, and they are undefeated this season when they do so.
Yep, and it looked like that trend is going to continue tonight. Pavia had the early turnover, and they were down in the turnover differential, the turnover margin, and then their defense picked it up here in the second half. They're winning the turnover margin, and, you know, the correlation is win the turnover margin, win the game.
The coaching staff said coming in for Pavia, he had to play a little bit more measured. He was trying to fit a couple passes into places where coverage was very tight. You get the sense that he's been a little bit more conservative tonight. Dumps it off. It's been a busy night for Monte Watkins, both catching and running, but those layup decisions they talked about for him, it feels like he's playing much more within himself here tonight.
Yeah, he has, and he really took care of the football tonight. The one interception really wasn't his fault, and it was a great play from C.J. Christian. And then when you think about the plays that they had drawn up, even when they want to create shots and get the explosive plays, it's really like a one receiver route. They're clearing out the backside of the defense and giving him a spot to throw it to. So the coaching staff, the offensive coaching staff has really helped Pavia out tonight with his decision making.
Just under 5 minutes left to play, 3rd and 6 for the Aggies. Pavia faked like he was going to keep it. That's batted down, and that'll bring up 4th down and stop the clock as well.
And that's one of those things where they tried to show the quarterback option, run through the middle, get the defense to step up, get the corner's eyes in the backfield, and then try to sneak one to Hudson for an explosive play. The defense was in tune there. Tips and overthrows once again. That could have potentially been an interception. How about a big return right here? The Panthers would love a big return to get the energy flowing back on that sideline. They still have 3 timeouts, 4.5 minutes to go. This game is really far from over.
And we saw how quickly they were able to march down the field. Just 3 completions had them right at the 5-yard line. Fair catch is called by Patterson. So we'll see if Jenkins can respond when he comes back out.
When I first started out as a filmmaker, I didn't want to get into credit cards because I realized I didn't know anything about it and it felt very risky to me. So my friend told me about Chime. I got the credit builder card and it was crazy. I didn't have to worry about interest. I didn't have to worry about fees. It wasn't a credit check. My score is up 80 points. I just finished my feature film and it feels like there's a future ahead to where we're saving up to buy a house. Look, if I can do it, you can do it too. Join me at chime.com.
Where'd you want to serve?
Oh, I didn't serve, but if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served in the military, you can join USAA.
Yeah, my grandpa did, so I'm already in, but I was talking about your serve.
Oh.
USAA, for the military community.
Why do I choose a sleep number smart bed?
So I can keep them all guessing.
So I know their game better than they do.
So I can take my game to the next level.
Because when your bed is this smart, you sleep at the right temperature all night. That's why 80% of NFL players choose the Sleep Number Smart Bed.
This is a payday bar. It's got tons of peanuts and a caramel core that get the job done. So you can think of it as a tool to be kept here, or even here, but definitely not here. It's not a pencil, people. Payday. Get to it.
Fire it up, Randy!
That's how you make it. Like it never even happened, happen.
Serve Pro.
See you tomorrow.
Treat your taste buds to the King's Hawaiian Pork and Slaw Sandwich from Firehouse Subs with slow-smoked pulled pork, melted pepper jack, and a sweet and tangy slaw, all on a toasted King's Hawaiian bun for a limited time only at Firehouse Subs.
Well, Dante, you call Diego Pavia a legitimate two-way threat at the quarterback position.
And tonight was definitely his night. The offensive line added to it, giving him great protection, and he was great on the deep ball with the throw there to Parker, and then with the run game, just making the proper reads and then running angry. We knew that dual threat quarterback was written all over him, and he balled out tonight.
Here's a look at tonight's Geico difference maker, 20 of 31. How about 11 different receivers with the reception? But we said before, limiting the turnovers. That one interception really not his fault, off the hands of his receiver. And as you said, the decision making and when to run, when to throw it. He has really looked the part of an experienced quarterback. And that means so much for this New Mexico State offense moving forward. Here's Jenkins, bottled up and brought down. So it has been a rough couple of minutes for the freshman quarterback, Kewan Jenkins. And let me ask you this, Dante. He's won 29 of his last 30 games. That loss coming in their last game to Liberty. He's thrown 2 interceptions the last 2 series. What's going through the mind of a young quarterback that hasn't faced that much of adversity?
Well, his confidence is probably taking a hit. It's very difficult to throw interceptions and then bounce back. especially backed up in your own end zone, but they need him to remain confident, remain aggressive, and just go ahead and let it hang out, just like he did right there with the miss.
And the protection breaks down again. Fumble! Quickly scooped up by the Panthers. Unfortunate for them, it's been Dean Patterson that was able to hop on it as disaster nearly strikes.
And that's a pass stunt. You see both defensive end and D tackle get up too far upfield. Keyshawn Jenkins takes off and then gets stripped from behind. They're just very lucky that they had an offensive player in the vicinity to jump on the ball.
3rd and 4, and this will be whistled dead. A little extra movement before the snap.
False start. Offense. All the offensive line other than the center. 5-yard remains 3rd down.
You got to put that one in some of the best sound bites we've heard from officials.
Yeah, it goes up there. Everybody but the center.
It's John Bach at the center position. He's back and finally healthy. Missed their last game, but now 3rd and 9. Jenkins just has no time in the pocket, and he is stuck at the 5-yard line. And coming up to make the play, we've seen this secondary very busy, very active for the Aggies.
And it looked like a hold there that wasn't called. And you see 24, Daniel comes up with the short tackle, and we've seen him all night with intentionality, physicality, and great open field tackling. FIU has to go for it here, 4th and forever, backed up in their own territory. Hopefully they can get some protection.
Here's Jenkins trying to keep his team alive, has to run, going nowhere, and the ball comes out. Jenkins pounces on it. That'll be a turnover on downs. And how about the defense we've seen from New Mexico State, especially in the 4th quarter?
They just teed off. And what do they call that defensive line over there? Death Row? Yeah, nickname Death Row. They've been pinning their ears back all night, flushing Jenkins, flustering him, getting him off his spot, being physical with him, tackling, getting the ball off of him, forcing fumbles. They have the young quarterback a little rattled right now. And that's what they expected to do. They wanted to come in here. They wanted to rattle the young quarterback, get him to turn the ball over. And they've accomplished their goal.
And how about number 40, Buda Paletti, on that play, gets around the edge, forces Jenkins to run, and then also gets the ball out while making the tackle. So the Aggies now just have to dot their I's, cross their T's to try and close this one out. The handoff to Jones. Both coaches said getting their first conference win was huge, and for New Mexico State, they had a bad taste in their mouths after that loss to Hawaii. They only had 14 plays in the second half. This has been a completely different looking second half for them here tonight at home.
Yes, and they played well in all 3 phases tonight. Of course, on defense, they gave up a few plays here. On offense, they turned the ball over once, but consistently holding on to the football, picking up first down, executing on explosive plays, finishing in the end zone when they get into the red zone. I think that Coach Keel has to be happy with what he's seen from his team tonight.
The Aggie defense holding FIU to just 3 points in the second half. And obviously the frustration you see right there for Mike McIntyre. They're looking for their 4th win. No call timeout here. This would have been the earliest they would have gotten their 4th win of the season since 2018 for FIU, but now back-to-back losses after winning 3 straight games, and they'll have a chance to regroup next week and kind of go back to the drawing board.
Yes, they will have a chance to go back to the drawing board, but they made it very difficult on themselves tonight. There were too many self-inflicted wounds with penalties, turnovers, lack of execution, lack of pressure. I mean, holding their quarterback up and not allowing him to get pressure. And you see tonight, we said getting rhythm. Yeah, they got in rhythm earlier for the Panthers, but they didn't really finish. They got stopped on 4th down early and then limit the explosive plays. They allowed 4 plays of over 20 yards, and there should have been more. for New Mexico State, it was a no turnovers. They won it by +1, which correlates with a win for them, and then affect the quarterback. They affected Jenkins. Even when they didn't sack him, they hit him. They sacked him 6 times as well.
3rd and goal for the Aggies. Pavia keeps it himself. Quickly stuck in the backfield. So for the Aggies, it's some great tape, I imagine, Dante, of what this offense can look like when they protect the football, they play efficiently. And I imagine for the defense as well, too, when they can get that penetration at the line of scrimmage and how disruptive it can be.
FIU. That's the second time out of the half. 30 seconds.
So let's go ahead and take a look ahead. Upcoming schedule for New Mexico State. We'll be right back here next Wednesday. In fact, you've got a handful of Wednesday games in a row for New Mexico State. You see UTEP. That's always a great rivalry game. Both those schools about 50 minutes away from one another on the road. So look at George Eberle. The long snapper is his twin brother, Charlie Eberle, as well. Both of them 5'11", from Califon, New Jersey. Been working on that ever since they were in the womb. Here's the kick for Albertson, and the kick is good. Makes it 34-17 as the Aggies double up the Panthers.
It is very fitting that the Aggies finish with points there, come away with the 4th down stop. I don't know if they really actually tried to get into the end zone. They were actually trying to run the clock out, but Mike McIntyre continued to call timeouts, which allowed them to go to kick that field goal and add 3 to the score. But all in all, it was a pretty closely contested game in the first half. But then here in the second half, the Aggies put their foot on the gas on defense and offense.
It was tied at 17 apiece after the 3rd quarter. First play of the 4th quarter, it was Pavia, 43 yards on the touchdown run. And then on that drive, for a chance to respond, you saw the interception that was thrown. And so Jenkins and FIU had a chance to make it a 1-score game. But the red zone interception, the first one of the season for the Aggies, completely changed the complexion of this game.
And usually that's how games flip. There's 1 or 2 plays here and there. New Mexico State had that happen to them versus, I believe it was New Mexico or one of the teams a few weeks ago where they came out, Liberty, where they had a chance, missed a throw, threw an interception. Liberty comes out in the second half. They score, go up 2 touchdowns. Pavia fumbles, and then the game is history.
Well, it's remarkable, Dante, because you played at the highest level, 3-time Pro Bowler, and regardless of where the football's being played, it's always just one assignment here, one guy there that makes the difference. And you highlighted that a couple times tonight on where there's some play breakdowns, and that's what these coaches are talking about. They want more consistency on both sides of the ball.
That's why football is the ultimate team game, because 10 guys can do their responsibilities perfectly on defense. One guy is out of position, and everybody gets punished for it. Same for offense, so it's the ultimate team game.
Here's Jenkins. Will try to get his team in some type of scoring position and work on that hurry-up tempo. And this is, again, a teachable moment. You don't get too many live looks to work on your hurry-up offense. Take advantage of it as a young quarterback, I imagine, as a freshman.
And as a leader, you want your mannerisms to be well finishing this game. You don't want to have your head hung down with a lot of your teammates looking at you as the leader.
Oh, and flags come flying in as Jenkins is on the turf, face down. And that did not look good at the tail end of that. We will get another look at this, but a scary moment with under a minute left in the ball game.
You just hope that he's all right. Take another look at it. Running through the defense. He's done a good job of sliding all night. And then that's Union goes in with his shoulder. It wasn't helmet to helmet or targeting. But you have to know that the quarterback is giving himself up. It's late in the game. Just lay off of him. Hopefully he's okay.
Especially if you're Union, you run the risk of getting a targeting call and having to miss some time in the next game. But they've got Jenkins rolled over on his back. Great to see him responsive at least.
You never want to see that.
No.
Especially with the game already decided. This kid has such a bright future. You understand that he's just trying to play hard and play through the whistle. You just have to play smarter.
Personal foul, targeting, defense. The previous play is under review.
So they will review this to see if there's any further action that needs to be taken. And always an area of emphasis every single year when we're in those rules meetings with the officials.
And he couldn't see Union coming, and I don't think that's targeting. I think that if he stays up, he probably hits him in the midsection, and there was no crown of the helmet to helmet. And let's see it. Yeah, I don't think that that's a targeting call. You have to be careful there. But I don't see it.
And Dante, I imagine as a defender, it's difficult. Your instincts are go get man, go get ball. And you never know when that quarterback's going to slide, and you have to treat it like a live situation as we see Jenkins rise to his feet. And a round of applause here at Aggie Memorial Stadium for him. They've talked about his toughness for Jenkins and his leadership, and he's going to be one of the great ones. True freshman, dealing with some adversity. This is the first ever losing streak he's going to be looking at. Back-to-back losses with 53 seconds left in this game.
And he should be stronger because of this. As a true freshman, you don't really expect to come in and go undefeated, especially when you're in a program that's rebuilding. But for him to take that hit this late in the game, it's just devastating for their offense and their team because he's the guy that makes this thing go. So hopefully he's okay and he's on track to be able to play next week. You just have to be smarter if you're Union and not really take that shot on a young quarterback.
The normal backup is Grayson James, but they will go with Hayden Carlson, the redshirt sophomore, 6'3", 215, to close out this game for FIU. That'll end the evening for Jenkins. His numbers, 25 of 32, 250 yards, 2 interceptions as we take one more look. And I agree with you. It seems like he's just coming in with the shoulder rather than the crown of the helmet.
Yeah, with the shoulder pad, right shoulder to face mask. And sometimes as a defender, it is difficult, but right there, you have to expect the quarterback to give himself up. It's late in the game.
Mexico State, 53 seconds away from improving to 3-3, picking up their first Conference USA victory. We said before, a couple of firsts this evening. First ever Wednesday night game for the Aggies and first ever Conference USA game hosted here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. And it's just that changing landscape in college football. All the conference realignment, and you're going to have new rivalries and new matchups and the adjustment that a lot of these teams and coaches have to make with who they're going to play on a regular basis.
And I like it, being a football junkie that I am, being able to sit at home and watch football on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like the dream for anybody, right? That's a big football fan. So I think it's incredible.
Let's get the call here.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Number 15 for New Mexico State will remain in the game. Second down, FIU.
So no targeting, will still be a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. And as we said before, the quarterback coming into the game for FIU, number 4, Hayden Carlson. You know this, even with under a minute left, you get out into a live game, it's a chance to show the coaches that you've been studying, you've been preparing, and you can run the offense.
Yeah, and he has 53 seconds to show what he can do. And in preparation, if Jenkins isn't ready for next week, can you put enough on tape to show that you could potentially be the starter next week and can lead this offense?
Carlson will get a chance to throw it right off the bench, and his first pass is a completion to Eric Rivers. So how about that? And McIntyre is irate on the sideline here. And I think he's upset because they didn't get the 15 yards. They ended up not giving it to him. You saw them walk that ball back. Here's Carlson, wrapped up by that defensive front that has been the difference maker in this second half.
Yeah, McIntyre is mad. He wanted that 15 yards. That first throw was incredible. And the yards that they picked up, and I like they're just going to go ahead and let this clock run out. Unless they get set and try to get something, a deep type of shot, Hail Mary to the right side.
Here's Carlson, another completion to Dean Patterson. Patterson running towards the sideline. They might get a chance for one more play here before this game is wrapped up. It's third down coming up.
And Carlson had two nice throws here, two completions. And you see the New Mexico State defense retreating to pretty much a Hail Mary defense. They're going to go for one final shot to try to come away with a touchdown.
In the response from McIntyre, as a coach, it's important to show your players that you have their back no matter what. Regardless of the score, that you're going to fight for them. If you feel like you've been slighted, you're going to speak up. Here it is, the pass outside to Patterson. Patterson going to try and weave his way through the defense. Patterson knocked out of bounds about the 5-yard line, and that will do it here in Las Cruces. New Mexico State getting the 34-17 victory. They improved to 3-3 on the season, a stellar performance from Diego Pavia. So we'll step aside and we'll be back with more on this one as the Aggies get the victory. But there's a little bit going on here as you see the officials trying to separate players. They got chippy down near the sideline, and they use the same tunnel, so I imagine you're going to go one team at a time in here to make sure that the game doesn't continue in the hallway.
Yeah, it was settled on the field. The Aggies were the better team tonight, and even though the Panthers are frustrated, there's no need to take it to that level. It was a good, hard-fought football game that the Aggies won fair and square. And you know Keel is very excited for his football team and winning his first game in Conference USA.
All right, we'll be back with more from Aggie Memorial Stadium. New Mexico State getting the 34-17 win.